Welcome to the Badass Direct Sales Mastery Podcast with your direct sales dom, Jennie Bellinger. Badass Direct Sales Mastery is a podcast for rock star direct sales moms who are determined to make their business kick ass. Jennie will share her knowledge of effective sales and recruiting techniques, tips to get what you want from your business, and will interview direct sales professionals and leaders from various companies. The interviews will give insight to how these rock stars got to where they are and where they plan to grow in the future. And now, the direct sales dom, Jennie Bellinger.
Welcome back to another episode of Badass Direct Sales Mastery. I'm your host, your direct sales dom, Jennie Bellinger, helping you whip your business into shape. Today, I have with me Spencer Jones, and Spencer and I have been chatting for a really long time. And I was like, dude, why haven't I had you on the show yet? Because you're just too much fun to talk to. And I know my audience is going to love what you have to share. So let me tell you about Spencer. Spencer is known as the Prince of Positivity. He shares his positive energy and spreads joy around the world. His mission is to ignite people's lights so that they can chase their passions, help others, and live their life to the max. And that's like all caps. Max. Spencer is the CEO of Jonesin and has two podcasts called Daily Energize and The Jonesin Show, and holds events all over the world. His message is simple and powerful, and that is take control of your energy sovereignty. And through his events, programs, and community of Energizers, he shows and models how you can master it. He's a classically trained pianist and choir director. So, oh my God, I can't wait to see you in person. We're going to sing together. Man, we're going to have fun. And he has published 3 books and has been published in multiple magazines and websites. And now, Spencer Jones, welcome to the show.
Ooh, man, talk about an intro like that. I don't know who wrote that, but there's some fun lies. I mean, they're all truths, but fun lies. Except we have to update one thing.
Oh, okay.
I must have sent this to you before because life's crazy. Actually, I published just as of a couple weeks ago my 5th book. I know, right? Crazy. So we have 2 about kayak fishing, 1 personal growth development, like just personal growth book, nonfiction, a journal, and I just published a quote book, 101 positive quotes out there, and I already have my 6th one is with the editors currently, and I'm working and writing my 7th. So it's been freaking crazy.
Oh my gosh, super prolific. Okay, first of all, I'm going to need a copy of the Positive Quotes book because I'm a quote queen. I love that stuff. So, especially if they're positive, inspiring, motivational, all that fun stuff. That is
I try all that fun stuff. I try to have it here. I don't have it out on the desk. That's how prepared I am for this stuff. I'm not. There we go. There we go.
Look at that. That is so awesome.
Our Energizers help pick the cover colors and all that stuff. So then we put that all together. But yeah, check it out. It's like just a bunch of different quotes put together so you can open it up, get some positivity. It's on Amazon and stuff if people want, but whatever. Let me know. We'll figure this out after the show.
Abso-freaking-lutely. Oh my gosh. So how did you come to be known as the Prince of Positivity? Like, how do you go from choir director to Prince of Positivity and spreading joy throughout the whole world? I mean, obviously singing spreads joy and...
Sure. It's true. Well, I spread negativity everywhere. I think that's a good place to start. Maybe not. Well, actually, the nickname I had before the Prince of Positivity was one my wife gave me before we met, and that was Ego Man. Because I had this, I didn't like it. And even after we were married, she still had that nickname for me, and I still didn't like it. But she was right. I had a huge ego. It was all about me trying to put on a show for the world. I wanted to be noticed. I wanted to be recognized. And that played into my whole story and life of me trying to prove myself, prove my worth, etc. I came crashing down, hit my rock bottom. It's a whole long story, all that stuff. We'll start working on me. And then in that process, I was already doing personal growth, learning I could master my energy and all that stuff. And I've always been more optimistic, but I learned, I can intentionally have a good day. I could be positive, right? I could share this positive vibes. It's not just, whatever happens, what side of bed I wake up on. Right. And so I started working on myself, helping others, built this business as we started doing so, right? And then one of my coaches gave me the nickname, hey, you're the Prince of Positivity. And I'm like, I like the sound of that. That's kind of cool. And then there's a whole journey of me learning to accept that and like be okay being identified as that, because it's stepping into this big role. And I was afraid my ego would come back after I finally slayed the damn thing, now let me come back. But now I've fully embraced being the Prince of Positivity, spreading joy and love, and just help other people shine their lights.
I love that. And it's so wonderful when it's something that comes from somebody else, right? Like when it's somebody who sees that piece of you and like before that, was that even something on your radar to be like,
I didn't want a nickname or moniker at all because when I had my ego and I
mhm,
was letting that lead me in life, I mean, I would take anything, something like that. I might even try creating something along those lines, just a nickname or something to have that notoriety and stuff. But after I hit my rock bottom and hated myself and, suicidal, all those things, I didn't
mm,
want any of it. Like I tried being overly humble, if that makes sense, because I
yeah,
was so afraid of anything to kick up that ego back again because I felt like it was out of control before and I didn't wasn't sure if I could control it again. And then over the years, I've stepped into it a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. And then we put on our big summit this last year. So a year and a half ago, when I was talking with my coach and team, I'm like, I feel this fire inside me again to do the summit. Like this is something huge. And I remember this fire. I love this fire. This is a fun fire, that lion inside or whatever, like I feel that. I remember it from back in the day when I had my ego, and I'm afraid that it's gonna come out again. And they're like, "We got you. You're a different person than you are now, but we'll be your guardrails. We'll support you and help you and guide you." And it's tested itself a little bit here or there coming back, but I've been able to check it pretty quickly and come back to that heart-centered place. But no, I never imagined myself having. That was a really long answer. I never imagined myself having a nickname or moniker as the Prince of Positivity and one of something like that. And I'll just share. I'm just taking and running with this now.
mhm, do it.
There was weight that went with it. There was about probably the second year into me embracing that nickname. The weight of, oh my God, I'm the Prince of Positivity. This is what people see me as and know me as. This is what I'm sharing myself as. Well, that means I can never have a bad day. That means I can't be negative. Oh my God, like I can't share these bad days, or I always have to say something positive to people. And that was a lot of weight for me because it slowly crept up. I didn't realize it, but it slowly crept up and weighed on me. And I'm like, oh my God, I have to respond to this person who's struggling. And I have nothing positive to say at the moment. I'm in my own funk, but I can't share
Mm,
that. And then I realized, well, hold on. It The way I want to live my life, the way I want other people is to be authentic, to share that. So I share when I have bad days, when I'm doing well, when I'm not doing well, just to be true, authentic, raw, real, whatever you want to call it. Like even right now, I'm recording with a cold, right? So it might sound a little different, but I'm just showing up as me. This is what you get. And I'm still going to try to be positive. I'm going to try to look on the bright side of things, but some days are better than others, and that's okay. So once I realize that and embrace that truth of, hey, I'm just going to show up as me and be my
mhm.
true authentic self, positive or not. I try not to spread negativity. I still try to respond with love, but some days are better than others.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's a really important thing to share, right? Because if there is that piece out in the world right now, talking about toxic positivity. And, I've even had people, say that about me. And I'm like, say what you want. If you feel it's toxic, that's on you because toxic is about, I believe, intention. How have you responded about toxic positivity, or is that even something that's been like
I get it a
brought
lot.
up? Okay.
I get it a lot. I mean, the Prince positivity. Well, all you're going to do is spout positivity, or from me to them, right? And so
Mhm.
that's toxic then, or it can be. And it's not. It does depend on the intention behind it. But I take it maybe a step farther, or just a little different light.
Sure.
And that is for me when I think toxic positivity, and I've been that person. I've been around those people at times. It could even be like with good intentions. Like let's say, for example, someone's struggling with depression, they're down, they're in a funk, and someone just says, well, look at the bright side of life. It's sunny outside. Like, okay, yes, it is. And I see what you're trying to do. You're helping, but also it's not when they're in that much of a funk and struggling. Like you're saying it to say it, but you're not really living it, if that makes to those
Yeah.
people. But
Yeah.
it's tricky. The way I look at it is and describe it is toxic positivity is like, yay, everything's sunshine, rainbows, and unicorns. Yay, right? Like everything's perfect in the world. And no, screw that. That's toxic when everything's perfect or everything's beautiful.
Right.
No, there's shit in the world. There's war, there's famine, there's frustration, there's anger. We all go through valleys. not everything's a summit, not everything's bright and beautiful in our lives because we all struggle at points. Toxic positivity to me is looking at only the bright side and refusing to look at the dark side, the struggles, the valleys we go through. But
Exactly.
to me, being positive and even the Prince of Positivity doesn't mean we don't look at it. No, we recognize we go through these valleys. We recognize that there's negativity, that there's hardships. We recognize those things. We work to learn and grow from them. We go through them, we process them, but we don't stay there. We look for the lessons. We look for the silver lining. What's the growth in this? So yeah, I might be facing the struggle, but what's the growth from this? How can I learn and grow? I see that this is a struggle here. Cool, I'm going to send love and light that way because there's nothing more I can do physically, but I'm going to pray. I'm going to send love, light, whatever you want to do. Cool. But I'm going to focus on the beautiful things in life. I'm not ignoring it. I'm not sweeping under the rug. I'm addressing it. I see it. And if you're doing that, that's not toxic positivity, in my opinion. Maybe people disagree, and that's cool.
Right. Exactly. And I think, ultimately in this life, there's enough out there that is enough people out there who are more than happy to share the not positive things, whether it's straight on negativity or not, but
Right.
that's part of why I had to stop watching the news in 2017, because I was just like, you know what? It doesn't fulfill me. It doesn't do anything positive for me. And
Right.
so other people are welcome to watch the news. I hold no judgment about
Right.
their desire to, as my father calls it, see what's going on in the world. And, yes,
Right.
but I can't do it.
I'm the same way. Like if it drags me down and makes me feel at a lower vibration, probably not going to do it. Right
Right.
now. So for me, it's watching the news. I don't watch the news. The people who are just complaining
Hmm.
and just looking at the negatives and turning everything to the negatives, I try not to be around them too much. Right? They're
Yeah.
the energy vampires in my life, and there's other people, places, things that are energy vampires. But I know, like news, I'm not going to. Like, cool. I'll hear about it from somebody, from something or someone if it's important to me. And for me, I've subscribed to a couple emails that will share different bits of information, news related bits or whatever. Then I can pick and choose. Okay, yep. Okay, don't care, don't care. Let's move on. That way I
Yeah.
can digest it what I want when I want it, if that makes sense, without just the always a negative bias to it.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good way to approach that, because you can't sit there and stick your head in the sand and be like, nothing else is going on in the world. La, 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 la. There is, benefit to being aware
Right. But you don't have to
of
get
things.
invested in it. I can be aware of it,
Yes.
but I'm not going to be invested in this. Like, okay, as of this recording, when we recorded this, there's all the crazy drone stuff going on that people are saying. And then there's all the conspiracy theories that go with it. I don't care what your side is. I'm just like, cool. Like, I wish them the best. Whatever's happening, hopefully it's not going to kill us or hurt us or damage the human race. All right, we'll just ride this one and see what happens. Like, cool, I'll deal with it when it happens. I'm not trying to not be proactive, but there's nothing I could do. So all right, I'm just gonna let it be then, right? If there's nothing I can do about it, cool. I'm just saying, like, cool, if they're aliens or whatever it is, I hope it's the best and we can share some love and light when they're here, like that's cool.
Yeah. Fingers crossed it's a good thing. For
But you
sure.
know what I mean? It's just those different things in life. I mean, there's so much negativity. Why do we have to give it more energy than it needs? Yes, it's good to be aware of those things,
Hmm.
but we don't have to let them drag us down.
Absolutely. So this, I think, is a great segue into the discussion of energy sovereignty, right? Which, you know, I brought up when I was introducing you. And it was something that I've only ever heard from you. So I don't know if anybody else is discussing it, but I've only ever heard of it from you and your wife and the events that I've been to where you guys have talked about these kinds of things. So can you define energy sovereignty for the badass crew here?
I'd love to define it.
Yay.
Why haven't you heard much about it? It's because we coined the term a couple of years ago, right? We coined it. That's our category. We're trying to be the category king of the category we created of energy sovereignty. So here's what it is. It's super basic. Let's just be easy about this. Your energy sovereignty is you being the master of your energy levels, your physical, mental, emotional energy levels. So the analogy I like to say is you have a cup, right? And you've all heard this analogy. I would assume most of us have heard this analogy
Right.
before. You have a cup. What's pouring into your cup? Where's your energy? Where's your cup pouring into? So is the energy pouring into your cup, the stuff going in, is it helpful? Is it positive? Or is it toxic? Is it hurting you? And then not only where are you pouring it, is it helping, serving you, and making the world a better place? But where's that energy going? Because you have energy vampires in your life who are sticking in straws. Maybe you're intentionally letting them take a sip from your cup. Maybe they poked a hole in the back and you're not aware that they're draining your energy. And so, how many of us have cups that are full of holes, like a bucket full of holes that you put water in and it just goes out instantly? So, you're always feeling drained, exhausted, tired. Well, what happened if you had a full cup, a cup that was whole, complete? We patched those holes and we made it stronger and we helped you be that master. So the master of your energy sovereignty, of your energy is I recognize the energy flow in, what's coming in, and I'm curating that, and the energy flow out. I'm curating that so that you are being your best for you. You're giving not just from a full cup, from a cup that overflows, and to people, places, things that you care about and things that matter to you. So energy sovereignty is being the master of your energy kingdom.
Ah, love that. And yeah, I mean, anybody who's been in the world of personal development who hasn't heard the analogy of the cup and how are you filling your cup, like what rock have you been hiding under? I'm super curious. How have you been in the world of personal development and not have heard that? But I do have to say that along those lines, I love those analogies of, the energy vampires who are sticking in their straws or poking holes because, there are those people in our lives. And especially, a majority of my audience are in network marketing. And so they do have people, and, I regularly hear from people who are in the industry who have somebody who's thinking negative things, saying negative things, like intentionally trying to bring this person down because they've chosen to align in a network marketing company. So, what are a couple of ways that somebody can begin to like pull the straw out or, patch the hole for the person who just keeps stabbing it with a toothpick?
Well, you think about it, right? So I was in network marketing before. And so, like, I get it, right? People are saying, oh, you're still doing that. Oh, it's a Ponzi scheme, right? It's a pyramid scheme. Like, you can't make any money at that. I know someone, they never made any money at that, right? Now, all the different stories that go with it and just seemingly to bring you down. They're not, maybe that from their heart, they're not doing it in a place that's bringing you down, but it is, right? And so it can be people. But energy vampires, just to be clear, energy vampires, we often think of people, they're one of the biggest categories, but it could also be people, places, organizations, things in your house. It could be the thoughts you think, it could be the words that you say. All these things can be energy vampires, right? So there's actually 9 different categories of them, and there's 9 categories of people as energy vampires, right? So it's a huge list that we can go down. So to give you steps and strategies to overcome it, well, there's different strategies, different things for each one, but
Sure.
general ones. First of all, be aware. Start being aware of what's draining your energy, right? What are the things, people, places, or things? What are those energy vampires that have that straw that are chipping away at your cup, that are sucking away your energy? It could be a person saying those things. It could be sometimes a random one. This is going to seem crazy. Clutter, right? If you have clutter around you, all of a sudden when you get clean, when it's cleaned up and you put the energy like, oh my God, this sucks, but I clean it up and it's organized, all of a sudden like, oh, I feel like I have more energy, right? I can do more in this space. At least that's how I know a lot of our Energizers feel. Wow, well, I didn't realize that was an energy vampire or the words you say. So first be aware and start to recognize what's draining you. Then start setting up boundaries to protect yourself from them. So I have a person in my life who, well, there's been people in my life, let's go with that example, who are energy vampires. And I've decided, you know what? I appreciate them, but I'm going to love them from a distance. I'm not going to have them close up to me anymore because they're draining me. They're energy vampires. They don't, it sounds rude, but they don't serve me currently. They're not helping me. They're only feeding negativity into my cup. But I can still love them, right?
Right.
I love everyone. I'm just going to love them from a distance. So they're over there. Have fun over there. I wish you the best, but you're going to be over there and not right by me. So I set boundaries up. I'm spending less time with people or no time at all with them, whether I do that in a direct conversation or we drift away. Sometimes there's people in your life who you cannot get away from. Maybe it's a boss, a coworker, a family member that you just can't totally cut, block out. So you could spend less time with them. You could set up certain amounts of time. Like I'm going to spend 2 hours, if we're recording this right before Christmas or holidays get togethers, right? I'm going to spend 2 hours there. That's all I can do. Then I need to get out. So you set yourself a boundary. I have 2 hours. That's it. Or, time frames or certain things like that. And also make sure you're doing things to fill your cup. What are you doing? Oftentimes we just give, give, give. well, okay, when I'm feeling drained or they're talking to me, I'm going to go out for a walk. I'm going to excuse myself and I'm going to go out for a walk. Or I'm going to leave the room politely in the conversation and leave the room and go to someplace else or talk to other people. Are you doing things that you love to do? Are you dancing, listening to music? Are you watching movies? Are you going for a walk or whatever it is you need to do to fill your cup? So first of all, recognize what's draining you. Second, start to set boundaries
Yeah.
that best fit. And maybe it's, I'm going to clean my desk. I'm going to do my best to keep it clean and organized, put stuff away. I know it sucks, but I'm going to put it away as soon as it gets there. And then every week, I'm just going to do a little check in and tidy up if I need. Cool. And there's so many different other types of boundaries and things you can do, but that's usually a good start is first being aware of it and then start thinking, well, how can I limit those from my life? And the last thing is plugging into your infinite energy. Why are you here? What are you doing it for? Like, why do you do what you do? And excuse me, is everything aligned with that? And making sure it's all aligned with your vision, your purpose, your priorities, etc.
Mm,
All big
love
things.
that.
Like these aren't
Yeah.
small, right? So like
Yeah.
if you're like, holy shit, that especially the last one, you're like, that's huge. You don't have to have it right away. That's okay. It could take you time. And I mean, like
Right.
that's what we do, right? We help people uncover that and plug into it. But even if you don't use us, cool, you can think about it, work on that and plan it out. But you can start becoming aware of the energy vampires in your life. I'm still
Mhm.
becoming aware of them. It's an endless thing because I go, oh, I didn't realize that. Now I know, now I'm aware. Now I can start doing something. So first become aware and then
Yeah.
pick one, maybe not your toughest one, pick one and start setting up the boundaries, working at that, and then build it up from there. Remember, boundaries they're for you, they protect you, but don't let the boundaries become a wall that stop your light from shining bright. Because so many people put up these walls or these boundaries that become walls that then make them prisoner inside it. So they're
Yeah.
not. So you have to make sure that your boundaries are serving you, but still allowing you to shine bright. They're more guardrails, I guess would be the
Yeah.
best way to say it, to help you make sure you shine your light as bright as possible for the people who need to see it.
Right. Well, I mean, it could even just be, something that a boundary doesn't have to be this hardcore thing. It can be transparent, translucent, and yet firm enough to keep
Exactly.
things out, right? So think of like, I don't know, like a cell membrane, going to my once upon a time science teacher. Right? That cell membrane is there, keeps most of the things out, except for every once in a while when the cell goes, no, 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 no. We want that vitamin D. Bring that in. No, no, no. Bring it in. No, yep,
Right?
that's cool. Oxygen also good. Yep, yep, yep. Bring oxygen and water. Okay, cool. Yeah, we want that. But like that other stuff, no, no, that can go over there.
Yep.
That's fine. We don't need that, right? Yeah, I think that's a good thing. One of the things that I have also found personally helpful for me when I know I'm going to be around someone that I can't avoid and I know that they're a drain, I literally do this like light work.
Yes. That was one of my next suggestions too. Yeah.
Oh,
Love it.
because it's so funny that just imagining a white light, and it's so funny because sometimes it's a situation where I know I'm not going to necessarily have to interact with that person, but I'm going to be in a space where that person is. And I'm just like, we're just going to put the bright white light all around me so it pushes all of their darkness away. And they just tend to just,
I've
you
heard
know,
of people doing the same thing, and I love that strategy and highly recommend it too. I heard of people putting up like shields or like this egg thing around them, and I like that, but it becomes that shield. What I love about
yeah,
your analogy, it's this white light that's coming from you
yeah,
and going out. White in particular, it could be any color, but white in particular, that emanates from you out, and then it just, it doesn't stop them from coming in, except it's so overwhelming they can't, right? So it
yeah,
doesn't act as a wall. It's shining bright and beautiful and out for other people. I had one, I was chatting with a light worker and, a person who is working with these different modalities saying there was a negative person coming to their house, right? Maybe you have people coming to your house and you're like, oh my God, this person's always super negative. She put up, imaginary, she visualized it, putting up a web in the front door. And the intention behind that light web was, maybe this was you. Did you tell me? I don't remember
yeah,
who.
I did.
It was you. Okay. Oh my God, I'm telling you your own thing back. Okay, so
No,
right,
but tell the
but maybe if I
story.
got
Tell
it
the
right.
story.
Okay. hopefully I get this right. Oh crap, I'm gonna screw this up now. All
No,
right,
you're
so
not.
okay,
You're doing great.
okay. So you put up this light web. I can't believe this is hilarious. Okay, so you web on the door with the intention of stopping the negativity from coming in. So they walked in through the door, and they were good. It was almost like a change personality within that person. Even if it's not, if that you're dealing with that, you could still set that intention. Nope, it's there. I'm not gonna allow it in me. My white light shining, and then when they leave, they have to leave through that same door. Like they can't leave out another door unless because they have to take their negativity with them, right? They
Yes.
gotta sage it out and stuff like that. If you believe in those things, but that's hilarious that you do that. But I love that idea, right? So it's that light working from you outward, that white, beautiful light. And then you can set up these other things. And it's
Yeah.
amazing the power of our mind, which then you go, okay, Spencer, this is so woo-woo, this is crazy. You just talk about staging stuff out, like, okay, and like maybe you're not listening to, this podcast if you don't believe that, and if you do, cool. But like the science behind it then gets crazy when you start looking at what are just thinking and saying words do, how vibrations work. This is where I get right, music guy, right? I was a
Yeah.
middle school, high school choir director. I love music, love vibrations.
Yeah.
Everything relates to vibrations. And so what that does, just by imagining that white light, by imagining that web on the door, by doing these things, the actual physical changes that happen around you, whether you see them with your naked eye or not, it's crazy. And
Hmm.
it's I geek out over that stuff because I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy.
Yeah.
So
No, I think being aware of these things, right? Whether or not, because the badass crew knows I once upon a time was very, very skeptical of the woo woo. And now I'm much more woo woo. Now, obviously, if I'm doing my own light work and things like that.
I hope everybody is skeptical of
Yeah.
all of it. Be skeptical of it. Do your
Yes.
research. Be skeptical of me and the stuff we do. Please be skeptical. Do your due diligence on everything, on every opportunity, different things. Do your due diligence on me, on our business, Jonesin 4. Like before you do anything, invest in anybody, me or anyone, do your due diligence. Be skeptical. And then step in little bit, and then go for it until you feel comfortable. Now it's getting woo-woo with your gut. Your gut says, yeah, I trust this. This feels good. Cool.
Oh, that is not woo woo. There is so much science behind the gut
You're
being the second brain.
1000%
It's
right.
not even funny, right? But that's literally why it's called follow your gut, because we know, like, our brain is picking up on all of these signals of what's going on around us that we may not even fully consciously recognize. And this is something that I know I've talked about before on the show with other people when talking about like when I'm reading somebody. Not that I intentionally do it. I don't walk around going, okay, what can I read? I've spent like, it's just that knowing that you're like, oh, good person. I like them. I want to spend more time with them. Or other people who you're like, hmm, mm-hmm, yeah, they're a human. Yeah, okay.
Right. Hey, I appreciate them as human. They taught me something I recognize. In the fact, I recognize I don't like that. Maybe I
Yeah,
didn't realize that as quickly before. I recognize that now. That's cool. Thanks for teaching me. I'm moving else over
yeah,
here. Like,
exactly. Like, and when you're talking about it, like in terms of relationships, right? People call them green flags, red flags, orange flags, yellow flags, like whatever. Like that comes from your brain picking up on micro expressions, tone. Like it's recognizing from other people who hurt you before, and it's going, oh, hey, ding, here's a teeny tiny little pink flag. Oh, look, it just got a little bigger and a little more red. And oh, look, it got a little bit bigger and a little more red, but our brain communicates with us through the stomach. Like it goes and talks to the stomach. It's like, hey, this is not good. This is why you feel nauseous, why you're like, oh, like it comes from the core for a reason because the brain doesn't know where else to put it. So it's like, here, I'll make you feel sick because sick is bad.
right? It'll make you pay attention. And there's
Yes.
so much science. Again, be skeptical of everything we're saying. Go
Yeah.
check out the science research, Google it, look for the scholarly articles. You'll find a ton. Like
Yeah.
it's so cool to see how our bodies work, how the universe works, and the more research that they've been doing now that they can start measuring some of these things, it's just so incredible. Like my whole, not that I've shifted in how my mindset is, I've just gotten clearer about like, oh, this makes sense. No wonder I felt this before. Now this is makes sense to me. It might not make sense to somebody else, and that's cool, but for me, that makes sense. Looking at life this way. Oh, now like we talked about before we even started, right? All of a sudden things became clear and it's like, oh, ding, 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 ding. That makes sense now. Oh, okay. Yeah. And that's
Right.
cool. And you find what works best for you. And say, I mean, and I hope people do this with the networking opportunities that they have. Like, are you partnered with a company that makes sense with you, that aligns with who you are and what you're doing, or are you not? Right? That makes a difference. Are the
Yeah.
people you surround yourself with, the coaches you have, the podcasts you listen to, the shows you watch, the food you eat, does it align? Does it not? Like for me, I mean, I eat healthy food. I try to, but man, do I love pizza and burgers and ice cream? Like I'm going to eat that stuff too. Like not always best for me, but it's aligned and I freaking love it. But just always try to pick things that are aligned. If we had to summarize, uh, if I had to summarize a tip for you in this episode, 'cause I know I see we're coming to an end here
Yeah.
pretty quickly. The best tip I could give you is do what's aligned with you and with where you're going. Start to have a general sense. If you're not crystal clear where you're going at, that's fine. A general sense. Pick what's aligned. Everything you do, opportunities, people, etc. Is it aligned with where you're going? If it's not, don't say yes to it. Something
Yeah.
else will come aligned, but do what's best aligned and then start getting rid of the things that are not. And that's one way, a very simplistic way to help master your energy sovereignty.
Ooh, love that. So nice transition here because in doing that, this is not something that, you go, oh, okay, I can master this. And boom, magically, it is all of a sudden mastered. It is a process. It is someday I'm gonna find that freaking video that I saw on Facebook about this guy he's dancing in the video. I think he made it on TikTok originally, but it wasn't a TikTok dance, but it was, I'm healing from my trauma. This is awesome. Okay. And he starts walking away like he's done. But then the music that goes with it is one of those choirs that's like, and we're back. Like, nope, there's more healing to be done. Da,
Right.
da, da. Right. This is a process that is best done guided, is best done in community where somebody feels comfortable. And so, one of the things we had talked about pre-interview was what you're going to offer for the badass crew to help them with their energy sovereignty and working on their worldview, their self view, their positivity, whatever it may be that they need to personally work on. And so you have a really generous offer for the badass crew. Tell us about it.
Well, thank you. So, what we do, right, we help people master energy sovereignty. We have a whole ecosystem to support you from our community to events around the world to an academy. And so that's filled with over 100 trainings and courses that you can access 24/7, 365. What I want to offer all of the amazing badasses here is a free apprentice, sorry, my nose is getting clogged, apprentice membership to the Jonesin 4 Academy. So what that gets you, it's free. Come join it. You get to check it out. You'll get access to over a dozen trainings, courses for life. You don't have to pay anything. They're there for you to check out, to have, and to help you. And like use them. Use them to help guide you. And then if you want, join our community, join the other stuff we have. We're not here to tell you to believe a certain thing. We're not tell you this needs to be your belief or you need to believe this way or the other way. We're there to help you gain clarity on who you are and how to shine your light, and then give you the tools and strategies by connecting with those trainings, with the experts in our community, with the events, different things to help you be at your best so you could shine your light the best way that is for you.
Ooh, love it. So, of course, for those of you who are hearing this and you're like, oh, I think I would like some information on this and I want to explore this. We, of course, have the link in the show notes or episode notes or the YouTube description, depending on how you're watching or listening to this particular episode. So make sure you go check the show notes or episode notes. The Badass Crew all knows how to get there. It's pretty much down that way for all of them. I don't think anybody puts it above. So down that way is the link. So what you're going to do is grab your phone, as long as you're not driving, click on today's episode, scroll up and look under Spencer's picture. And oh, look, there's a big bolded link that says, I totally blanked on it, the Jonesin 4 Academy, and how you can go join for free with your apprenticeship membership. So you'll have access to those training for life. This is not a 7-day trial, 14-day trial, 30-day trial. This is faux life, y'all. So go check it out. See what, if you have aligned with Spencer today and you want to check out more, this is a great way to do it. And he is somebody who I've been chatting with for, I think, about a year now. And I've participated in some of his programs and checked out some of his webinars, and he's got good information. And I would not have him here if I didn't believe in him myself. So Spencer, thank you for being out here and continue reigning as the Prince of Positivity. I am so happy you're in my life. So thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me, and it's such an honor to be here. Thank you for being in my life and shining your light. I'm truly, truly grateful. Thank you.
Absolutely happy to do that. So, and of course, Badass Crew, you know how this goes. Stay tuned because there's another badass episode on its way.
Thanks for listening to the Badass Direct Sales Mastery Podcast with your direct sales dom, Jennie Bellinger. Why are you waiting to go to badassdirectsalesmastery.com? Don't make the dom get her whip. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to share it with another rock star that you know in direct sales after you subscribe to the podcast so you won't miss any future episodes. You can also check out the show notes for links and any contact information mentioned in today's episode. We'll see you next time.